Okay, we should be live. I hope the sound's good. I hope you can hear me well. We're just watching a little bit of the Critical Path documentary just until the official SpaceX stream is live, which should be in around about 4 minutes time.
This was a big day.
Yeah,
Fourth attempt that we've had.
nervous. This is a big one. Prop loads already began, so
feels really good. I'm super relieved. Again, it was like pretty dynamic,
and then just like that, live webcast of Starship Flight 13 test starts now. So let's switch over to it.
Seen the vibration and the temperatures that were.
And there it is.
All right, all operators on countdown 1.
Guys, this is all new to me, so let me know if the sound volumes are good. Is my mic coming through too loud? Can you hear the SpaceX feed in the background good? Obviously it's important that we get all the sound levels correct. And for anyone that is watching, thanks for joining. I just need to check one thing.
Hello and welcome to Starbase, Texas. It's 5:13 p.m. Central Time, and we are 31 minutes and 38 seconds away from Starship Flight 13, the second flight test of our next generation Starship version 3. You see it there on your screen. I'm Kate Tice, Senior Manager, Quality Systems Engineering.
And I'm Nathan Commissary, a civil engineer here at SpaceX. Today, we are coming to you live from just outside the floor of Star Factory,
Okay.
our 1 million
Just heard from someone I trust.
factory where we build Starship.
Yeah, I don't know
The background
what's
noise is a bit
the
low.
rocket or the place where we build it. Now, back in May, the first flight test of Starship version 3 delivered tons of data, and we'll be putting those learnings into practice today.
Okay, what
on
about
Flight
that?
2.
Can you hear me
All of
okay
this
now?
brings us
Is that
one
all
step
good?
closer to a fully and
Waiting for a
rapidly
text
reusable
off someone to
vehicle,
let
the
me
key
know
to
whether they
enabling
can actually
frequent
hear me
flights
or
to
not.
the Moon and Mars. Starship will also
My
enhance
faithful
Starlink's
executive producer.
and connectivity on Earth, the Moon, and beyond, while
And we
helping
are 30
establish
minutes
a
away from
network of
flight.
AI data centers in
Incredible.
space. Success on today's suborbital mission also opens the door for near-future orbital flights and our first attempt to catch ship on Tower 2 here at Starbase.
Pretty exciting, and this is
Let me know in the
also
chat,
an
guys,
exciting
if
day
you
for
can
the
hear
Starlink
me,
team
if the
because
sound
we are
levels are
planning to
good.
deploy 20 of the newest Starlink satellites. These
And
sats
she
aren't
is
intended
looking
for operational
regal.
use and will only be in space for about 20 minutes before demising. But during that 20 minutes, we're going to speed run a bunch of tests, things like deploying solar arrays, firing thrusters. We'll get into those details a little later in the show.
Yeah. Now, what Starlink engineers learned today will be essential to deploying operational V3 satellites into the Starlink constellation on future Starship flights.
V3 satellites.
These larger, more
We've got a
powerful
payload this time, a
next-generation
real
satellites
payload.
are designed to boost orbital capacity, strengthen the overall network, and deliver a noticeably better experience for our customers.
And as we've said before, Starship is
Not a cloud in the sky. There was rumors of a weather front coming in, but
test in flight because
looks
it's the
good
best
to me.
way to rapidly iterate the design by putting the vehicle through its paces in the actual conditions it will experience during an operational mission.
Exactly. So while we have real Starlink satellites on board, the most important payload today is data. But no matter
Just
the
heard from
outcome
my
of
sound
today's
engineer
test
that all
flight,
the sound's
as
good.
usual, excitement is guaranteed.
Now let's head a couple of floors upstairs where Dan Hewitt is just outside the Launch
There's
Control
Dan.
Center. How's it going, Dan?
Hey Nathan, it is going great. Hi to Kate as well. And hey everybody else. I'm Dan Hewitt with SpaceX Communications. It's great to be back here with you, flying from Starbase just a couple of weeks after the last one. That was Flight 12.
Yeah,
That was in May.
quick
We
turnaround.
debuted a lot of new hardware.
And if this
all of
goes
it flying
well,
for the first
14,
time. We're going to dig into some of the details
the
in a minute
hardware's
on
being
how
tested.
that flight went, but it came
That will
with
come
a bunch
quick.
of exciting wins, some important lessons. But let's look at right now. Things are looking very good. We are not tracking.
If anyone
any
wants to put a
issues on the
message in
vehicle
chat
or
so
on the
that I know
pad.
it's
Just
working,
behind me
it'd
in
be
the Launch Control
appreciated.
Center, we've got engineers on console looking at the rocket, all the systems as we count down We have started propellant load, putting liquid oxygen, liquid methane on both
Look at the
stages
quality
of
of that
Starship,
picture.
and we're looking good
Camera
right now
envy.
to launch at the open of our window at 5:45 p.m. Central Time. Weather is barely worth mentioning. We came in today with about a 90% probability of go, and we've got blue skies, scattered
And I should
clouds,
probably
no scary winds.
apologise.
We're looking really good.
I was going to go
Range is
live
also
just before
currently
the actual
green
launch,
for
but
launch. Reminder, we're
I wanted to
watching
make sure
the
that
range
everything was
both
set up
off
and
the
everything was
coast and the
working, and
Gulf
didn't
here
want to
at
leave it till the
Starbase,
last minute.
and also
So
on
I
the other
thought,
side of the
okay,
planet in the Indian
we
Ocean,
could just
where
watch
we are hopefully sending the
the
Starship
build-up.
in just a couple of minutes from now. All right, so before we dig into everything else for today, let's take a look back real quick at Flight 12. Now, as I said,
Let's take a
that was
look.
the first launch of a new ship, new booster, new Raptor engine, first flight from Pad 2 here at Starbase. A lot went right, and the stuff that didn't still gave us really valuable flight data to continue building a better Starship. Like all flights, we lifted off right at the top of the window, 33 Raptor engines propelling that full stack skyward from Starbase. After we got through liftoff, booster ascent, it was Starship's turn, lit its engines for hot staging. We tried to flip the booster in a specific direction that gives us more performance. We had some differences in engine startup. We were off by about 90 degrees. We've modified that startup sequence, made it more robust to flip in the right direction. Super Heavy attempted its boost back burn. 5 engines experienced issues when attempted to relight, so we had an early end to that. We made some hardware modifications to improve relight reliability and updated our alarms and aborts. That booster attempted a landing burn as it approached the Gulf. That was unsuccessful, and it ended its flight with a hard splashdown in the hazard area. Now, while that was happening, Starship made its ascent into space. About 40 seconds after stage step, though, we lost one of those 3 Raptor vacuum engines. Still able to demonstrate our engine out capability, reach the planned suborbital trajectory. We've made some hardware operational changes on this flight and have some additional reliability improvements coming in the future. Once in space, Starship was able to deploy all 20 of the Starlink simulators, 2 modified Starlink satellites that got these brief shots of Starship in space, which was dope. We skipped the in-space burn due to engine issues, but then Starship got ready to re-enter the atmosphere. It was able to do a flap stressing test and did the maneuver to mimic the trajectory that future missions returning to Starbase are going to fly. Then it got to the pre-planned splashdown zone in the Indian Ocean, where we had drones and buoys ready and waiting. After the Raptors turned on for a flip, landing burn, Starship was in the water, and Flight 12 was in the books. So, a lot of excitement, a lot of firsts, a lot of learnings. All that set us up for round 2 today. Just getting to a launch day comes with a bunch of hurdles, a ton of problems to solve, a million little stories. Here's just a quick peek into one of those stories that was on the path to Flight 12 that we featured in the 2nd episode of our ongoing documentary, Starship.
But they didn't actually mention what caused the engines to light wrong for the hot staging. Yeah, okay, you know, so they missed the flip by 90 degrees, but why? Why was that? Surely it couldn't have been the order the engine
We
start
designed
up.
this
They know the
pad
order.
to be able to support a launch every 60 minutes indefinitely. The thing about Pad 1 is it was designed to be very quick to build, it was designed to be very cheap, and it was designed to give good access to the aft end of the booster.
Just one sec, guys.
The reason all of those things were a design goal is because we sucked at building Starship pads and we sucked at building Starships. It's like we didn't know what we were doing because it was impossible to know what you were doing because no one had ever done something like this before. The brief on that one was, hey, get something up very quick and very scrappy and very inexpensively, but that's okay. It actually needs to just be good enough for us to learn. And then if we can learn from it, we'll go build the actual good thing. I mean, the integration mechanism is the pad. The catch mechanism is the pad. All of this stuff is like integral to how the pad operates. And so the reason we call it stage 0 is literally it is the first stage of the launch process. And if it is not working, we cannot go launch. And so that certainly like raises the stakes and raises the priority and like drama whenever things go wrong.
All right,
on
we're
the pad.
back. Don't want to disturb your viewing of the Critical Path documentary.
Post-static fire, as we were transiting the chopstick arms,
I actually
back
did
to
a
lower position,
whole reaction to this
we
documentary,
heard a loud noise out at the pad.
and then realised after that my sound levels were off and you couldn't hear me. So that was a couple of hours wasted.
It's vibrating the entire tower. Something got jammed up in the chain and maybe it caused it to snap. We don't really know if it's broken completely or if it's just cockeyed or buckled in some way. God, it sounds terrible.
Huh.
So we are in a mad dash to get that
world's biggest
roller
bicycle.
diagnosed and replaced as soon as possible.
The chop carriage has many rollers positioned
Again,
in different parts around the tower.
Anybody in
And
the
when I say
chat,
roller, it's literally
if you
like,
think the
imagine
sound
world's
levels
largest
are
bicycle
wrong,
chain. It's
if
built
I'm
almost
not
exactly
loud
like a
enough,
bike
if
chain,
the
except for it's
stream's not
380
loud enough,
pounds,
let
and
me
the chop
know,
carriage weighs
because
a
I'm
lot.
trying to
And so
dial it
basically
in.
broke one of those links, the chain got bound up, and the day after static fire, we called our buddies at the Cape. We had some spare units over there for building the Cape towers. We're able to hot shot to overnight the chain to us, got the old chain torn apart, got the new one put together, flew it up, and the morning after that, we were ready to rock.
These guys are the real heroes. These engineers working with components that are on a scale like you've never seen before.
It was
Changing the
on the order
world's
of like
biggest bike chain.
30 hours, 36 hours from we found the problem to had it fully back in service. On like an item that was not really designed to be very serviceable. To be able to come up with a scrappy plan, you know, temp support it with cranes, get in there and boogie is like, that's like just classic SpaceX nonsense.
Man, I love this docuseries. It's not just behind the scenes, it's in the scenes.
It's the day in the life of working here at Starbase. It's awesome.
Yeah. Now, if that scrappy problem solving that Steyer described inspires you, if you want to be a scrappy problem solver with us and the team here, come on over and help us build the
Yes.
future.
Yes.
All right, let's
If
meet
you are
the
young
rocket
enough,
there on the pad,
do it.
Starship version 3.
Why wouldn't you?
The most powerful rocket ever developed,
Go
ever
onto the
flown.
website.
That's
There's
right. At just
thousands
over
of jobs.
407 feet tall,
Even
fully
if you're not
stacked,
from the
it
States, you could
is
probably get a
massive.
sponsored visa.
Standing at the base and looking up is like looking up at a 40-story
If I was 30
building.
years younger.
Insane.
It's crazy. It's a 2-stage rocket. Both stages are designed to fly to Earth to return to Earth and fly again, making this the first fully reusable rocket ever. The bottom half, or the first stage, is the Super Heavy booster. That's the silver part at the bottom. It's powered by 33 of our newest iteration Raptor 3 engines. You see them there, and those run on liquid methane and oxygen. This version of Raptor provides a significant increase in thrust. With that additional thrust, fun fact, this version of Starship gets off the pad faster than our previous versions. Here you can see version 1 Starship on the left, V2 in the middle, and V3 on the right. That was our first flight of V3 on Flight 12, and that thing just leaps off the pad.
That's right. Now, Super Heavy also has 3 grid fins now, which you can think of as aerodynamic rudders to help steer during landing. They're 50% larger than on the previous booster version and are designed to support rapid reuse and a more stable atmospheric reentry.
At the top of the booster is the hot stage adapter. It's designed to protect the booster during separation and is now fully integrated for reusability.
And stacked right above that is our upper stage of the rocket, or stage 2, which is what we call ship. It's powered by 6 Raptor engines, 3 optimized for sea level performance and 3 for the vacuum of space.
Ship's design could one day enable point-to-point transfer on Earth, meaning you could travel anywhere on the planet, just like an airplane, but this time in an hour or less. It's designed to carry massive
19
orbital
minutes to
payloads,
go.
cargo
Everything's
and
looking
crew
good.
To Earth orbit,
I'm checking
the
out for
moon,
tweets
Mars, and beyond.
from Elon,
And for
making
the
sure
first
everything's
time, we're
good.
carrying real Starlink V3 satellites to space. For more on that, let's head out to California, where Tyler is standing by with the team in Hawthorne. How's it going, Tyler?
Hey, thank you so much, Kate and Nate. I'm Tyler Lionquist, a Starlink
Kate and
business
Nate.
analyst here at SpaceX. And for those of you who have been following along, the Starlink version 3 satellites have been designed to take full advantage of Starship's payload capacity. We're going to get our first look at those satellites today. The Starlink V3 is our next-gen satellite and includes meaningful increases in capacity, data density,
So as I
and
was saying,
power
if you're a young
generation.
person,
We'll be adding around 20
you know,
times the
even
capacity
15
into
and
the
you're
constellation
struggling to
on
think
each
about what you
Starship
want to
mission
do with
as
your life,
compared to the version
study
2
engineering.
satellites that we currently
Go work
launch
at
on Falcon.
Starbase, work on the
That
greatest
means that we'll
machine
be
that
able to
humans will
serve
ever
more
build.
people all around
The
the
one that
world
helps
with
us colonize
increasingly
another
better
world.
high-speed internet. Like all of the Starlink satellites, the
Even if you're
V3
just
are built
driving a
at
truck
Starlink's
there,
site in Redmond,
you can make good money
Washington,
driving a
where
truck
we
anywhere,
already
but
build more
why not
satellites than anyone
haul
else in the
parts
world
for
today.
Starship
The
around
Starlink V3
Starbase.
sats are designed to support 1
Be
terabit
part of
per
something
second
bigger
of
than
downlink
yourself.
and 160
Get on their
gigabits
website.
per
There's a
second
whole
of
career
uplink
section
capacity.
full of jobs.
That's
Doesn't even have to be
approximately a 10
Starbase.
times
It can be
improvement
Hawthorne.
in
It could be
downlink capacity
Kennedy.
and a
That's going to
22
come
times
online
increase
soon.
in
You've got 2
uplink
towers
capacity
being
in
built
the
for
version 2
Starship there
Starlink
right
satellite.
now.
Serving this
The options are
capacity to
limitless.
and from customers are the satellite's upgraded phased array antennas. The upgraded phased arrays are fed by SpaceX's
There's my guy.
developed chips that were designed to serve customers more efficiently in both densely and sparsely populated regions simultaneously. Each Starlink V3 satellite is also equipped
can't
with
keep
6
calling you what I
high-capacity
reckon.
400 gigabit space lasers.
Do I call you what?
These
Or
6
do I call
lasers
you
will allow
reckon?
high bandwidth traffic
do I
to
call
flow
you it?
uninterrupted between any 2 points in the world with redundant paths across a petabit laser mesh network. And if that wasn't enough, the V3s will carry 4 quad-band radio frequency backhaul antennas. These will take advantage of the Ka, E, V, and W communication bands, allowing for an 8 times improvement in the supported capacity compared to our V2 sats. Now that's a lot of growth in capacity and capability, and as such, the new satellite design requires more power. So the
Andy,
solar arrays on
how you
V3
doing, Andy?
will generate
Thanks for
approximately
showing up,
twice
my
as much
man.
power as the
Just let me
current
know
arrays
about
that
the
fly
sound
V2
levels,
satellites.
the picture
And they're also
quality, the
optimized
mic
to reduce
levels. I'm
drag
just
in the
trying to
lower
dial
orbital
everything in.
altitudes
So
in which
if
these
it all
satellites
sounds good,
will
let me know,
operate.
or if it could be adjusted,
But before we
that'd help as well.
operationalize
But
these
thank you for
satellites,
coming, my
we
man. I
wanna
really
put them in a
appreciate it.
flight-like environment. So these satellites were just loaded into Starship yesterday ahead of today's launch. And once deployed, the Starlink team will only have about 20 minutes of flight to speed run some tests before the sats demise in the atmosphere. Now, the team will attempt to run tests such as extending the new solar arrays and antennas.
I was just
connecting
saying,
with
we're
ground
looking good.
stations,
The weather's
and
good. There
turning
was
on the
a slight
satellite's
problem.
communication systems.
They was tracking
This is all
some
part of
inclement weather, but it
SpaceX's
was like right up in the
iterative
atmosphere.
process
But
to technology
we're seeing the
advancement.
live shots of
And from the
Starship.
beginning,
Everything
Starlink
looks
was
great.
designed to scale
We're 16
rapidly
minutes
and
away. Prop
continuously.
loads underway.
From
I don't see any
production to
reason
launch and ground infrastructure,
Pray to
Starlink
God
is uniquely positioned to
that
keep
this ain't
pace
going to
with rising
go
demand
off first
around the
time.
world.
So
In fact,
I guess we'll
just
find
this
out in
week,
16
we rolled
minutes.
out the next generation Starlink kit V5, which is built for reliable, high-speed home internet.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, my man. Well, then let's light this bloody candle then.
All right, thanks, Tyler. Yeah, new Starlink kits, new Starlink satellites, and we've also got development work ongoing on an entirely new satellite, our AI data center satellite, StarMind. I actually got to sit down recently with Elon and our director of satellite engineering, Ian Dahl. We covered a whole lot of stuff. The focus really was on the 3 limiting factors to making data centers in space a reality. The first factor we really dug into was needing way more mass to orbit. We're talking megatons. And that's where Starship comes in by combining full reusability, massive payload capacity that's essential to launch the number of satellites that we're talking about, because we plan to deploy up to 1 million AI satellites, and those are going to function as orbital data centers, leveraging Starship for that high volume, low cost launch. There's a couple of reasons why moving data centers to space has some pretty immediate advantages over building them here on Earth, which takes us to our next limiting factor, and that's power generation. Because guess what? It's always sunny in space. Satellites can harness near constant solar energy. I mean, you're tapping into an energy source that becomes the only way to scale if AI continues to grow at the pace that
The priority is
especially when you
just get
with all
through
of
the
challenges
flight
we see
profile.
here on Earth.
No
Within
dramas.
about 2 to 3 years,
I
we
want this to
believe
be the most
space-based
boring
AI
launch we've
compute
ever
will
seen.
become the
Just
lowest
textbook.
cost option as
Just
launch costs
33
drop
engines on the
and
way up.
Earth-based power constraints grow.
Good
it's gonna
booster
just
separation
transform
in
how
hot
our
staging.
planet
Let's see the
powers
thing
AI.
flip upwards, not
And
to
to
the
unlock
side,
all of that,
not to the
get
left,
our
not to
third
the right. It
limiting
needs to go
factor, we
straight
need to
up.
make significantly more
And then
ships
engines
and render
relight,
it
soft
fast.
splashdown
And that's
in the Gulf of
where we're
whatever
going
you want to
with
call it. I don't want to
Terrafab.
get in
This
trouble
is
with
gonna
any of
be
the Americans.
most epic chip building effort
And then
ever. When we
good
say
engines
epic,
on
you
ship
just look at
for
the
the orbital
scale of
burn
this
or the
thing.
suborbital burn.
That's the size of a
And
Tesla Gigafactory.
I'll be
about
honest
10
with you, it's
million
the
square feet.
suborbital
We
burn
need
that
to think
always makes me
bigger.
nervous. I
We're
think
looking
it's
about
version
100
2.
million square feet, so
It's
you're
kind of made me a bit
talking
jittery
10
about the
gigafactories
burn to
worth
get
of
it into the
space.
suborbital
It all
trajectory because
sounds
there were
a bit
so many
fantastical,
problems
a
with
bit out
version
there,
2.
but all of this together
With
represents
just
a
getting
step
it into that
towards
trajectory.
becoming
So
a galactic
I think once that's
civilization,
all done,
harnessing more power from our
and
nearest
you know,
star,
Booster's done a soft
supporting
splashdown,
the reality
ships in
shifting
its
AI
orbit or in
applications
its
that are coming,
trajectory,
and advancing humanity's
that's pretty much. I
multiplanetary
think
future.
that
So
will mean
if you
that
wanna
the
learn
flight's
more
going to
about that,
go
you can
well
watch that
because
full conversation
deploying
on our
the
website at
satellites, they
SpaceX
didn't have any problems with
AI/Starmine.
that last time.
So, a lot of really cool
They
stuff
obviously couldn't
coming.
do the
Kate,
relight
future looking
because of the
pretty
problem
sweet,
with the
but
vacuum
first things
engine on
first,
ship on the
Flight
way up
13.
last time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And then the
the
heat
future is
shield
built on
held out
progressive steps
remarkably
like
well,
today's test.
which I'm
Now,
hoping
let's
that,
dive
you know,
into the flight
although
profile.
you was absolutely
So
right with the
today
comment
we'll
you
be
made, that is
starting
the
with
biggest
liftoff
technical
of
challenge.
Pad 2 here at
But they
Starbase.
seem to have turned a
Super Heavy
corner
will
with
ignite
that.
those 33 Raptor
So
3
yeah,
engines
just
and we will then
boring,
power through
just
ascent
textbook, no
ahead of our hot
dramas.
stage separation,
Because what I
which is
really
when
want
the
is us to
booster will
move on
shut
to the
down
next
all but
set of
5
goals. I
engines
want to
at the
see
bottom.
Flight
Stage
14,
2 will
and
then
let's
light
start
its own
really
Raptor
pushing the
engines,
envelope.
pushing off a super heavy and
Ship
starting
catches coming
that
up.
hot
Booster
stage
catches. I mean,
separation.
we've not seen a
You'll then
booster
have
catch.
directional
Feels
booster
like in a
flip
couple of years
with
now, which is
Super Heavy
crazy.
igniting those 33 Raptor
And then
engines.
orbital
After
refueling.
coasting for
Let's
a
see
few
a
minutes,
true
the
orbital
booster will
flight.
then
Let's
target
go
a
around
landing
the
burn
world a
and
couple of
splash down
times
a
and
few miles off the
really
coast of
push this
Starbase.
thing.
Ship
So
keeps
yeah,
the fun going
the
with
more
its
boring,
ascent
the
burn
better,
to a
Andy, to be
suborbital
honest with you.
trajectory. We
No
then deploy
dramas,
those
please.
20 Starlink V3 satellites, and we plan to relight a single Raptor engine. Re-entry then follows a few minutes later, which should provide some amazing views via Starlink of the ship's blistering re-entry through the Earth's atmosphere.
All right, 12 minutes
A
to
plasma
go. I am
blanket
getting
will
sweaty
form around the
palms.
vehicle, and
It might be
this
this light
never
that I've
fails
bought
to
to
provide
put on me.
epic scenes as the vehicle comes back.
But I usually
and
get sweaty
lastly,
palms
we'll
when it
conclude
comes
today's
up to
test
launch
with a
time.
landing flip, landing burn, and a splashdown in the Indian Ocean. And with that, let's kick it back up to Dan for a countdown update.
Hey, thanks, Kate. Good news is very little news. We are continuing to look on track for a liftoff today, not tracking any issues on the vehicle or the pad side. Range status
Great.
continues to be green.
Just like I said,
Reminder, we're tracking
boring.
the range
That's
out of
great.
the Gulf off the coast of Starbase where we're launching over, and then also out in the Indian Ocean where we're hopefully sending a Starship in just about 11 minutes from now.
Absolutely, with the
Weather
heat shield,
looks
Andy.
gorgeous,
And not only
blue
that,
skies, low
they've been
winds,
working on
couple
this
of
a good
clouds,
few
not a
years
concern
now.
for flight today.
But I
And again,
suppose, you know, all
vehicle
the
and
best
pad both looking
intentions
great.
until
We
you
are in
fly
kind
up
of the
into
latter
space and
stages of
come back
propellant
faster
loading.
than
We got
a
into
speeding
the
bullet or
go,
3
no-go
times the
with
speed of a
flight
bullet.
control
You're never
team
really
about
quite
T-minus
sure
1 hour,
how well it will
and then
hold
we've
up.
been
So
loading prop
the fact that they've
for
attempted re-entry,
about quick
probably
math,
6,
about
7
26
times
minutes
now. They'll have
we're
been
gonna
using that
continue
data to
loading
gradually
propellant.
up
That's
the
your
ante
liquid
and perfect
oxygen,
it
your
more and
liquid
more. So
methane
they'll
onto
get that
both of
right.
these
The
vehicles
one for me
until just a
is
little
orbital
over 2
refueling,
minutes before we lift
because
off. We'll close out on the ship
otherwise
about
you've
2
just got a
minutes and
huge
10
lump of
seconds,
metal
and then the booster
in
before that at
orbit.
about 2 minutes
Unless you
and
can do
50
the orbital
seconds.
refueling, you're
So,
stuck there.
At the moment,
So
we're
I think
looking good.
they'll get the
We're
heat
counting
shield
down
right,
to the
but for
very
me the
top of
big
our
one
window. It was a
is
90-minute
orbital
window. It
refueling,
opens right at
which I'm
5:45
confident they can
PM
do
Central
because they've
Time.
docked with
Looking
the
good to hit that right at the top.
International
Back over
Space
to you guys.
Station many times with the
Thanks,
Dragon
Dan.
capsule.
Now, as teams
But this is on a
prepare
bit of a
for
bigger
today's
scale.
launch
You
from
know, you've got
Texas,
these two
work is
huge
also
things that need
continuing
to come
on the
together.
other
and-
side of the Gulf in Florida,
that'll be the
where
one for me.
Starship will soon be launching, potentially later this year.
That's right. Starship flights from Florida will initially lift off from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center.
All right.
Teams
Closing
are
in
working
on
through
10
Starship
minutes.
system
I'll
activations,
be back in 1
performing
second.
initial tower chopstick motion tests, confirming the operation of the hold downs on the launch mount, and performing multiple integrated tests of the propellant farms, water farm, diverter, and launch mount. With Starship coming to 39A, the launch complex will soon have 2 operational pads for 2 very different rockets with Starship and Falcon Heavy. It has been awesome to see the 39A Starship program come to life over several years, and it's going to be exciting to soon see a Starship launch from this historic pad.
Yeah, we're super excited. But 39A isn't SpaceX's only pad in Florida. Just a few miles down the coast at Space Launch Complex 37, the first of 2 Starship launch pads pads at that site is quickly taking shape. Pad 37A is targeted to be ready for flight operations early next year, which is very fast considering we only started construction on the pad in November. This year, teams have worked through ground preparations at the pad and fuel farms while also fully excavating the flame trench for Pad 37A. In June, stacking began of the launch and catch tower, and you can see that there on your screen. And we have plans to complete that stacking in the coming weeks.
And a few miles west of Pad 37 is our Cape Giga Bay, where all Starship vehicles in Florida will be processed for flight. Recently, teams finished erecting all of the building's steel and are now working to finish the exterior of the structure. In the coming weeks, SpaceX will complete activation of the first crane in the building, set up the first integration stands, and complete platform work to be ready for supporting the first Starship vehicles that will arrive in Florida. We'll transport the rockets from Texas to Florida, and honestly, it's just going to be so exciting to see a Starship take flight from the Space Coast. Especially exciting as I had the opportunity to play a role in the Starship Cape program in my previous role.
Now, I don't want to.
Awesome.
I just need to.
Clearly, SpaceX's future in
Move
Florida is coming together quickly, with planned launches already on the horizon.
I don't want to get in the way of the
regular
telemetry.
trips to the moon. And speaking of the moon, NASA recently announced the Artemis 3 crew for the next moon mission. Let's head back up to Dan for more on that.
Yeah, thanks, Kate. I mean, we're not going to take a minute. We're not going to take a minute to nerd out a little bit about the moon. So NASA just announced the Artemis 3 mission.
Yes, Starbase updates. I agree, my friend. That is the one for me. Like,
a lot of the critical systems
I think it's going to be really bad if they can't get this booster to do what they managed to do repeatedly on version 2.
Frank Rubio and Andre Douglas.
You know, it seems kind of like
it
seems like a milestone that should have been nailed by now. I'm confident they will.
Before Artemis attempts to put
but it does worry me. The